Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another week of Shameless Watch Collector Moonlight Cup Series action. Tonight, we're at the wine country area of our country out in California for the Sonoma 80. Gonna do some left and right-hand turns here tonight for the first time this season. First road course of the season in Sonoma Valley. Gonna be climbing those hills up and down all day long for a very exciting race here today. Buddy the Professor alongside me, Smoking Joe up here, two guys up here that have a lot of road course experience. So Buddy, what are you expecting to see here tonight? I know you're very good at this track.
It's definitely one of my favorite tracks, I think, out of all of them, next to the Charlotte Roval, maybe Daytona Road. Those were some pretty fun tracks. I think these guys in these cars are going to have a little bit of a challenge on their hands, though. It seems like during practice we've seen quite a few guys getting loose, cars not wanting to turn, and I think it's just going to be everyone having patience. I just see Justin Farm get really tight right there on the brakes, push wide, but yeah, I think these guys have a challenge in store for them tonight with this Gen 6 car here around Sonoma.
Gen 6 action at a road course is something that we're not used to seeing in Moonlight Racing League history here. Usually not bringing this car to any sort of road courses when we've done it for off-season races in the past. So this is going to be the first for Moonlight Racing League and this car here tonight. Last season was a very exciting one. I don't expect it to be anything like it was the last season, so I don't feel like any of the notes that I would have had last season on my way to winning the race in this series is really going to help that much with tonight. Completely different setup, completely different car, and with the way the race is laid out here, we could be looking at a completely different strategy too, Buddy.
No, yeah, I think that field that they're running 100% field this season, every single race in this car, so it's really close to the total laps that we have to run here tonight, which is 42 laps with no cautions and a stage points coming in at lap 20.
Do you think we may see two separate strategies in this race? Guys that pit right after that stage break number there. Remember, no cautions at all at road courses. So we may see some guys pit, split this race in half, get stage points, go crazy, and then maybe try and catch back up on new tires. We did see tires play into effect in the trucks, but we're not sure how much that's really going to play out this time. So we may see some guys try to stretch it, like Buddy said. Right now, you're looking on screen at last week's winner there, Patrick Cowgill. Got it done in the other part of California at Auto Club Speedway over Jay Stinson and Justin Parham. It was a very, very crazy race out there. We saw a lot of cautions, a lot of different leaders, and also a lot of netcode once again. We also see up there Michael Wolf getting a top 5, his first top 5 of the season, along with Steve Lewis as well. A lot of those guys up there gained a lot of points on the points leader, Ken Redinger, who was out of the race before the stage break due to a wreck around lap 35 last week. Really changed things up a little bit up there in the points. We did see Patrick gain a lot of spots last week, actually, along with Steve Lewis with their great runs there, Buddy.
Yeah, last week was definitely did not go in the favor of Kenneth Redinger. We saw him wreck out early in that race, like you were talking about, and a whole lot of net code. So it'll be interesting to see how this car handles net code around here. Once we get to the start, I wouldn't expect these guys being too close together. I think the field's going to separate quite a bit. We might see two different groups. Those that want to already know they're going to do that pit stop towards the middle, and then some that might try to hold back and kind of pace themselves a little bit to try to not have a pit stop there in this race.
Looking down the field right now, looking at the practice times, Ken Redinger currently at the top of the boards. Not somebody we usually expect to see up there in practice results or running fast laps at a road course, but right now he is at the top of the board for tonight's road course. So Ken showing speed now on road courses for the full rainbow on his to complete his full rainbow of skills right there.
Oh, locking that right front up.
Well, yeah, that's usually the kind of problem we see. Ken's not the greatest road course racer historically in these series, but it looks like he's found something here tonight. Ran a 15.9 earlier. See Zach Hillmann up there running a 16.1. He's second on the boards. And then I see some of the guys that I would expect to see up there on the lap times. Matt Novella, third. He ran a 16.4. Matthew Fritzen, fourth, ran a 16.6. Justin Parham, I believe we talked to him last week just about surviving this week. Looks like he's got some good speed. Ran a 16.6 as well. And then Patrick Cowgill, Kyle Lynott, Zach Panzarella, all guys that we've seen run fast on road courses as well.
Yeah, it'll be... I think with Redinger having this track and car mode figured out here on the road course, a lot of these guys are used to being able to come in and kind of have an advantage at a road course. But with as dominant as Redinger is on the oval side of things, it's got to be a little concerning to some of these guys seeing him figuring out how to turn right.
Yeah, we did see that last season in the truck series that Novella, Volpus, and Cowgill used Watkins Glen in the chase to try and close back in on Ken and make it a closer battle for the championship last season. But if he's running like this, if he's got this kind of speed when we go to race pace, then the whole field's got to watch out for Ken Redinger once again. We're getting ready to wrap up practice here. Qualifying is going to commence here shortly, so let's go down trackside for the festivities. Another beautiful flyover there to get us ready for qualifying. It's going to be a 10-minute session tonight since it is a road course, a little bit longer laps. Still the same style of 2-lap qualifying, though. While we were getting ready to get going for qualifying, we actually had a 20th driver show up right there. Jay Stinson, somebody we talked to last week about just surviving this week, is going to make sure that, yeah, there he is right there, just trying to survive. He's going to make sure that we have our 20 driver field for top 10 in points this week in the stage. Remember, that stage is going to be at the end of lap 20. And there's Patrick Cowgill on the cams. He's getting ready to get those tires up to temperature, buddy. You know how important it is to get those tires up to temp on the outlap.
Oh, yeah, super important to have the tires up to temp. These cars, pretty much any car on iRacing, I think, is a little bit unstable on the twitchy side when your tires are cold. Super easy to lose control, get loose, spin, lock up. And oh, he's so close to the wall, and it don't really matter because he's going to have a really good run here coming down the front stretch to take the green flag here for his first time lap.
Patrick Cowgill, we see him run so well at road courses all the time. Usually got the 1-lap pace down to go and put it on pole. We saw it a lot last season. It's always about getting the strategies right for him, though, in these races and making sure to keep the car clean throughout. So we'll see if Patrick's able to put it all together here today. Doesn't look like he had the same short run pace, maybe one lap pace that some others did. So maybe that's a good thing for Patrick. Maybe he's got it going in the opposite direction here today, where he's not so good on one lap pace, but maybe has the long run strategy in it.
Yeah, I think Patrick is pretty strong on, pretty strong road course racer. I've only raced with him a couple times, and I think the 2 times I raced with him was actually Watkins Glen, and both of those we both kind of got caught up in separate incidences that happened around us. So I have heard Patrick Cowgill is definitely a driver that sticks out in my head as a road course racer. Another name is Kyle Lynott here. He's had a couple weeks of really bad luck, to say the least. And it seems like he's just kind of taking it nice and slow, getting heat up in the tires as he's doing his first outlap here, I believe. Not pushing that car at all on this first outlap here. Matt Novella is another one that I attribute to road racing.
Yeah, he's coming around to start his first lap. Zach Hillmann put down a 16.3, so he's got a half-second clear back to Mike LaMotta after that first lap. Watching Ken Reidinger, fastest in practice. He's coming out of the hairpin right now to complete his first lap. We'll see where he goes on the board as he comes to the start-finish line. His lap will be good enough to put him right at the top. 15.9. He matches his practice run right there. We'll see if he's able to go any faster on lap 2. Right now, we're watching some of the other drivers come around the track on their second lap. Zach Panzarella currently in the S's on his second lap, coming out of there. Hear that thing really revving out there in second. He shifts to third. Got to be careful. Don't go off the track. Going to take a nice wide entry into that corner right there into turn 10. And now down into the hairpin to finish his lap. Gets it down to first. Locks it up.
Oh,
Watch out. Well, that's going to pretty much ruin that lap right there for Zach. I think he's going to have to settle with a 17.9 as his best. Unless this is somehow faster, which it is not. 19.8 on that second lap. Coming into the hairpin right now, I see Matt Novella. He comes out of the hairpin. Going to come around to complete his first lap right here. Coming around to the start-finish line, and he will run a 16.3. That's going to put him third. He's just a couple hundredths behind Zach Hillmann, who it looks like did not improve on his second lap. Looks like everybody running their best laps on their first laps. Actually, no, Hillmann did improve on his second lap just slightly. So did Reidinger. Reidinger ran a couple hundredths faster, got it down to a 9.33 right there. Watching, looks like Lynott's coming to the start-finish line. See what he's able to put down. Looks like he's maybe not banking on this first lap being fast. Yeah, 17.776 right there. So he's going to go for it on lap 2, I think, to try and go a little faster. He did run a 17.1 in practice. And he gets a little loose right there. Watching some other guys here. Dalton Geyer is lost in Sonoma right now, trying to get back onto the track. Cody Matthews, I think he had trouble on his out lap. He had a good first lap there, was able to qualify 9th currently. See what he can do on lap 2. Dalton Geyer's really struggling around there. We'll have to go back and check in on him. Justin Parham's coming out of 3A. He's on his first lap. Matthew Fritz is off the track. He's done though. He's done with qualifying though, so he's fine. Yeah. Here comes Novella to the line for his second lap, and that will be good enough to not move up. It's a 17.5. It's looking like the first lap is the money lap right now there, buddy.
Yeah, I think so. I'm kind of curious on Kyle Lynott. We saw him super conservative on that out lap, and then kind of taking it a little bit easy on that first lap, and kind of curious to see what he's going to throw down here for his second lap.
Here comes Lynott to the line. See if he's able to go any faster. Cody Matthews improves on his second lap, and Kyle Lynott has, man, Jax Duvall, eat your heart out right there. They're going to need to pull out.
Goodness gracious.
They might need to pull out a backup driver on top of the backup car.
Like Michael Wolf out, Justin Parham able to move up to 7. Oh, Michael Wolf goes around. I think some of these guys. Oh, Justin Parham's still working on his second lap here, it looks like.
Yep. His first lap was good enough to put him 7th on the board, right in front of Kyle Lynott. Dalton Geyer's trying to put down a clean lap here. He just came out of turn 7A, going down towards the S's right here. Gonna need to try and get a good lap in right here. Don't get loose like that. Gotta be careful coming out of the S's. This car gets very loose with this setup here. And you can see right there, Dalton may be struggling a little bit. He did run a 21.6 in practice. He's trying to get a little bit better with his lap time here in qualifying. Going down into the hairpin. Gonna take a nice wide entry. Gonna try and come out of there with a good run in first gear. There's the shift to second and the shift to third. And coming to the line, Dalton Geyer is gonna run a 19.5. That's gonna be good enough to put him 12th on the board. Nice lap from Dalton right there. Good recovery. Here comes Justin Parham to complete his second lap. And that is going to be good enough to improve his lap time, but not his position. Goes from a 17.7 to a 17.1. But the gap from Cowgill to Parham was just too big right there.
Yeah, I don't think. I think we might only see about 14 drivers qualify here. Does not look like anyone else is taking their chances. We have Gravesby, Sanchez, Vincent, Zabok, Lolis, and Steve Lewis all opting to not qualify at the moment. We got about a minute and a half left in qualifying here.
Yeah, I mean, there's not enough time for anybody to go back out there.
No.
And put down a lap time. So I did expect to see Steve Lewis. He's probably going to start from the pits, I would assume.
He's not very for him last week.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's really not a big fan of road courses, so I'm going to assume he's just going to try and his best to stay out of the way. Trying to think about who else. I think Mark Zabok, he's just going to chill out and probably in the back too. A lot of these guys just are looking for good runs here today. I know we're looking to see how they're able to get it going, like Brandon Lawless, Danny Sanchez. Glenn Grigsby's back on track this week. See what he's got in store for us. He lost a lot of spots in the points last week by not showing up. We also have a new driver in here, Lauren Vincent in the 51. Looks like he's not going to put down a lap time. So got a lot of guys opting not to qualify here. I think it's all guys that didn't either put down qualify or practice times or that were just not comfortable with the track.
I won't go. We got a few seconds left. So after last week, this is kind of the way the points were. This is all going to get shooken up after tonight because the drop race comes into effect, right? So we can't really go off of this for any meaningful data, but just know that it's going to be shooken up after tonight once those drop weeks come into account here.
The Case of Beer is up there in 6th in points. Case of Beer not here tonight. So that will, well, I guess we'll see what happens with the drop week. Same with Graham McGivern as well. Qualifying is over, and it also looks like we're on a short pace lap. Thank you to the admins for that, so we don't have to go around the whole racetrack. And we're getting ready to grid up here. And Ken Redinger going to be on the pole for today's race. Ken Redinger put down a 15.933 right there. Incredible lap time from him. Going to have Zach Hillmann going to be starting to his right-hand side on row number 1. Behind them in row number 2, Matt Novella looking to get a win on a road course here and back up his wins last season in the truck series. Going to start alongside Matthew Fritz, another driver very fast at road courses. Back in row 3, we see Michael Mata going to start alongside Patrick Cowgill. Patrick Cowgill usually leads a lot of laps in these road course races. We'll see if he's able to get his way up front and battle for the win once again. Row number 4, we see Justin Parham, Kyle Lynott. Justin usually running right around there in that top 10. Going to hope to have a good run again. Kyle Lynott, we'll see if he's able to work his way forward from that 8th place starting position. Behind them in row number 5, we see Zach Panzarella, a driver that's usually pretty good at road courses. Looks like he's struggling a little bit for pace here tonight. Going to start alongside Cody Matthews in that number 10 purple car. Back in 10 for 10 again with Cody Matthews. Man, he's just obsessed with qualifying 10th. Starting in 11th on row number 6, we got Michael Wolf making his first debut here on a road course in the series. Starting alongside Dalton Geyer in the 36. Behind them in row number 7, we see Jay Stinson and Christopher Cowgill, the last 2 to put down lap times. And then everybody else on back did not qualify. So that'll be Brandon Lawless, Glenn Grigsby on row 8, row 9, Mark Zabok and Danny Sanchez. And then on the final row will be Lauren Vinson and Steve Lewis.
You know, Joe, one of the things that sticks out to me here is the number of names that we associate with road courses that are in the first 5 rows of this field.
On top of that, a little housekeeping. Michael Mata gets an EOL from a penalty last week at Auto Club here. So that's going to move up the entire left side row. So everybody that we just said that started 7th, 9th, 11th, they're all going to move up a spot. And Mata's going to go to the rear of the field here onto the final row for the initial start of the race here. No cautions unless something crazy happens here tonight. So this is going to be the one start of the race, barring something psychotic. So Ken Redinger going to lead them into the restart zone. Going to go on the flagman here for the one start of the race. Here we come around, and the green flag is out. Ken Redinger going to get away with a drag race with Zach Hillmann. Not a great jump from Ken Redinger. It looks like Novella is actually going to be sticking right with them. But there we go. Ken gets the lead up the hill. He's going to clear his way into turn number 1, take over the race lead. Second place going to go to Zach Hillmann. Looks like Novella goes a little wide, but he's able to keep it under control. Patrick Cowgill trying to sneak past the 19 of Justin Parham, not able to get it done. They're stacking up further on back, but everybody's still staying forward right now.
Super exciting start, and just kind of like we expect. We normally see this at a road course where everyone kind of quickly finds their place in line, as we have some cars locking up, but everyone keeps it clean. Oh my goodness, some of these guys back here in the back still trying to find their place in line, and this is kind of what we see, a little bit different than what we see at an oval race. Everyone a lot more familiar and comfortable with oval racing, so this is kind of the name of the game here for a road course for these guys. File in line, stay on the track, get the best finish you can, and hopefully you have a good race. It looks like Patrick Cowgill trying to work a little bit on Parham.
I'm looking further on back. Michael Mata is ripping through the back half of the field here on lap number 1. I think he's passed about 7 or 8 cars. He's up to 12th now at the end of lap number 1. So Michael Mata has taken his EOL penalty and cut it in half by 1 lap, and he's gonna get aggressive with Jay Stinson here on lap number 2.
He's really loose going up there off the, I think that was into turn 2, turn 1. I don't know my turn numbers here for as much as I love this track, but Michael Mata is definitely.
Jay Stinson, I think he got tagged.
Oh no, let's see if I can. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Jay Stinson's
Everybody's
still working
going
side
straight
by side here.
Oh my! Contact with Zabok right there. They're going to be 3 wide going into the S's. Danny Sanchez wants nothing to do with it.
No, he says never mind. Looks like Sanchez and Zabok both kind of made the decision to back up and slow down a little bit. That let Jay Stinson get a little bit of a gap. Has a little bit of a breathing room here, so he can kind of calm those nerves and get the car back under control. Ken Redinger and Zach Hillmann's really hanging with Redinger here, so I don't think they've really pulled away or gained anything. These top 3, 4 cars are kind of right here, nose to tail. But now the name of the game is really just click off laps, right? I mean, that's what I do at a road course. Once everything kind of calms down, you get that start of the race jitters out of the way, and then you just kind of put your head down and kick off laps.
Well, I think Michael Mata might have had a problem because it looks like he lost a spot there to Dalton Geyer, falls back to 12th. Not sure what's going on there. Maybe he missed the corner a little bit earlier. Now going to get aggressive and try and get back around Dalton Geyer. Dalton going to have no part of that. And looks like, oh, wait, maybe not. No. Oh, no. Okay. No.
I thought they were going to try to race it out.
Dalton thought about it for a split second, but then decided, you know what? You could have it, Mata.
one of the guys that we kind of talked about, is kind of known for road courses, is Matthew Fritz. He's just kind of steadily hanging here in fourth position. So you got Ken Redinger still leading, Matthew Fritz in fourth, Justin Parham in fifth. Three teammates right here running in the top five. So that can be extremely beneficial to the team points once this race is said and done. Not sure how drop weeks work with team points or whatever, but
yeah, it's a whole system. Those top four ran pretty equal lap times that last time around. Everybody's staying pretty much at the same gaps to each other up here. Pretty much like a stalemate, kind of like a Martinsville situation between these top four right now, where they're just kind of all waiting for somebody to make a mistake and pounce. You got maybe Justin's holding up Patrick a little bit. I think Justin might be struggling a little bit just to get away there. I know it's not easy with these cars when somebody's up on your rear bumper like that. It can get you very loose. So right now, just trying to hold on to that fifth spot. We know how aggressive Patrick can be here at road courses.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we got a car around. We got a car around in the S's. Not sure who. It's Cody Matthews. Look out, everybody.
He went for a little bit of a spinny woo, and I don't know what happened, but we'll go back and look right past. Looks like it's going to be just a self-spin here. Oh, maybe a downshift too early.
That may have been carrying too much speed. Oh, Jay Stinson right at the start-finish line backing up. He's got a problem. That may be the same kind of scenario right there. Just too much momentum and lost control. I know I had trouble doing that. I had a problem with that when I was practicing here. Let's see if maybe that's what it was, or it could.
Yeah,
maybe just trying to stay up on Dalton here.
Oh.
Yeah, just there it goes.
Yeah. He didn't hit anything, though. So no damage there, just a little self-spin. No harm, no foul. Everyone avoided him.
Everybody behind Ken Redinger starting to make some little mistakes here now. I think Hillmann may have missed a corner a little bit there, and now Ken's kind of pulled about a second gap, it looks like, on second place, Zach Hillmann. And then you see Novella trying to get around. He almost went into the gravel that lap to get around Hillmann. Falls back now as well. So all three of those guys losing a lot of time on that lap. And then Parham and Cowgill are still on top of each other for that fifth position. Lynott looks like he's holding down the Ford in seventh, Panzarella eighth, Wolf in ninth, and now Michael Mata's running in 10th. Looking on back, it's a cluster, it looks like, from 15th on back right now is what I'm seeing on the data here. There's a lot of cars all on top of each other back here. They may have spread out a little bit. Maybe it's 17th on back.
Oh, yeah, 17th.
Oh, yeah. There's everybody.
No, yeah, we do have some guys with some cams, though. We got Michael Mata. He hopped in there. So got him on cam tonight. And we saw Patrick Cowgill earlier, and we got Chris Cowgill, which is Patrick's brother, back on cam tonight. So nice to see some of these guys using that.
Man, you know what? Let's just stick with Chris for a lap. I'm just so curious. He's back here. He's running in where is he running? He's 18th right now, and just look at how calm he is running around a road course. I mean, you can just see how calm he is driving around here. He was scratching his chin there for a second. Let me tell you that driving this car around this track is not as easy as he's making it look right here. He's very nice, calm, and cool, just trying to figure out how to find some more pace here and get around Glenn Grigsby for 17.
Oh, no, Dalton Geyer off the track. Brandon Lowell's off the track. Danny Sanchez crashed.
Oh, that's no man's land. That's the old pit road over there that used to be off to the right. Almost went down towards the drag strip there, Danny Sanchez did. Gonna have to see what happened. That was interesting.
Let's see here. Steve Lewis kind of trying to work there on Chris Cowgill a little bit, but we'll see here. Hairpin here. Maybe a bad shift.
Oh yeah, there it is. It got
too heavy on the
he
throttle.
just got the wheel spin. Yep. That's exactly what that was.
These three are kind of right under a blanket with each other. It looks like Redinger's been able to pull out even further gap on some of these guys. At almost 3 seconds now over Matt Novella in second place. So it does look like Novella
get around him.
Yeah, somewhere. And, oh boy.
Well, now here comes Zach Hillmann back. Oh, he's gonna try and pitch him off.
Oh.
This may not end well for these two. Zach Hillmann really didn't want to give him that, and Novella almost got himself turned. That was very scary between those two, but that's going to be a lot of time lost again for this group of three. And man, Ken Redinger, I am shocked. I mean, I am pleasantly surprised. Ken Redinger has struggled so much on road courses. I know he really wasn't looking forward to this race. He's never really looking forward to road courses. I talked to him last night. He said, you know, it's running like 116. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good lap times. I was like, I just want to get in there and run. If I can run top 10 and just run all the laps, I'll be happy. Well, the way that Ken Redinger is looking pace-wise compared to everybody else, I think it's barring something crazy happening, I think it should be pretty easy for him to run all the laps here tonight, as he's pulling away from these boys on back.
Oh, I think it's going to take a mistake on Ken's part, and watching how consistent he was during practice, I just don't know if that's going to happen or not. He is probably locked in and just zoned into what he needs to do, and this has all of the showings of someone that actually put some time into this car and track combo, unless he was just automatically comfortable with the Gen 6. But I think during one of our interviews a few races back, he was talking about how he hadn't really raced his car before. So I'd say that Ken probably put some practice in this week, just specifically for this race.
I think it's safe to say that with Ken's record on road courses, that he wanted to make sure he got some extra practice in to understand what this car was going to do here. And it seems like the extra practices really helped him out this week. Got out there. He's got almost a 4.5 second lead. And you know what's nice about where he is right now? Look, he's all by himself. And then you see there's some of his competition back there. There you go. You got Cowgill trying to make that move around the outside in the hairpin right there. I don't think he was able to get it done. Yep. Okay, we're still. No. Okay, not able to get it done.
No.
And then there's an absolute brawl for third or for second place. There you got Novella, Zach Hillmann, and then Fritz is just kind of waiting behind them. I think he's just kind of waiting to see if these two wipe each other out with how crazy they've been with each other the past 2 or 3 laps. Here we go again.
And you know, one thing I'm noticing from this group, like Novella.
Oh, he's gonna dive it.
Oh, Novella says no and just kind of sends it in there. But the amount of, like, these guys are getting loose. You could see Hillmann there loose under braking. I don't know if that was Hillmann locking up or Novella locking up, but these guys, especially Hillmann, you can tell every single time that he is shifting the car there, that back end is wanting to wiggle around a little bit, which means he's breaking traction. So you know he's got to be kind of definitely being aggressive on the throttle, just trying to make something happen with Novella.
Yeah, it looks like he really wants to get back into second right now, and he's all over Novella, and this is not doing either of them any favors in catching Ken. Ken is just in a world of his own, running very clean lap times. He was a couple tenths faster again that last lap. And now these two right here are still battling hard. This is the section that scares me. It's right up here, right into pretty much two right here is where they've been really crazy the last couple laps, and then into 3 it's been pretty crazy as well. So we'll see what happens this 3 and 3A, and then all right, we're not going so crazy this time. 7A was a little bit of a trip last time too. It looks like Zach is like got some better braking ability, greater stopping
Yeah.
maybe, but he also may be using his tires up more.
I think Zach spun the tires right there, and that let Novella kind of pull a little bit of a gap on him. They both seem to have different parts of the track, different corners of the track. The one's better than the other. But as hard as Hillmann's driving here, you can see how it's bringing Matt Fritz up into the conversation as Hillmann driving it in. Don't have a. Oh, no.
He's going to wreck him.
Oh, my. You know what I can say, Joe? Is that one wasn't net code. I'm actually surprised we haven't seen any net code issues as Parham gets around Hillmann here.
Matt got immediately on the radio and apologized. That was, oh no.
Which, with as hard as those two guys was racing, trying to hold each other off, as we're watching Hillmann. Yeah, they're about to do the same thing here.
Yeah, Zach just sent Justin's clear off. Zach probably upset. Sent Justin Parham clear off the track right there. It's going to open up the door for Patrick Cowgill here. Maybe going to be able to take advantage of it down here into 7A. Man, this is just, look at that. There he goes. Locks it up. Does Parham, and he's going to get wheel spin, and they're going to be side by side into the S's. They're making contact. And there goes Patrick into the wall, and that is going to be massive damage to the 31. And here comes Kyle Lynott, who almost runs into the back of him. And oh my goodness, there comes. He's in the grass. It's broke.
Yeah. Broken wheel. Yeah, meatball.
Just like that.
Zach Panzarella is a driver that we haven't really said a whole lot about. Like, we talked about him during qualifying and practice and stuff, but he's had a really quiet race, able to move up into 7th place, right behind Kyle Lynott. And that's one of the things that a lot of drivers that may not particularly be fast on a road course, this is kind of the types of stuff or shenanigans that you look forward to, right? Generally, we always tell everyone, if you're not good at a road course, you don't have to be fast. You just stay on the track and have a clean race, and you'll just naturally gain spots just because of your more competitive guys or guys that are faster tend to push the cars a little harder, and that's whenever mistakes kind of happen. So there's so many people that refuse to race a road course because they're not fast or something like that, but that doesn't always mean you're instantly going to have a bad race.
Yeah, so I think what you really want to look at from that, right, is the snowball effect that just happened right there. So we saw Novella spins out Zach Hillmann in the hairpin.
Yeah.
And that backs Hillmann up a lot, gets him angry. He goes into 3 and 3A, and he knocks Justin Parham off the track because they're side by side after that. And then that pushes Parham back towards Patrick Cowgill. Cowgill tries to make the move in 7A, gets the wheel spin out. They end up side by side into the S's, and it ends with Patrick Cowgill in the tire wall out of the race. So an incident that happened almost a whole lap prior ends up taking somebody out a lap later.
Yeah, definitely a snowball effect like you were talking about. And whenever you look at the chain of events to get from one place to another, it is interesting looking back at how anything happening different in that sequence would have been a whole completely situation or scenario for Patrick.
Exactly. And you know what else I'm looking at? Matthew Fritz got around Novella for second there 2 laps ago. The other thing I'm looking at is Zach Hillmann's coming. He's closing back in on the back of these guys, and I don't know what's going to happen if he gets to the back bumper of Novella here.
No, absolutely not. And all this stuff happening between these three, Hillmann, Novella, it's just like Ken Redinger's here approaching about 9-second lead over these guys. About 8.5-second lead right now. So really, it's going to... I do believe unless Ken makes a mistake at the end of this thing, we're going to be talking to the pole sitter, the stage winner.
You know what else?
What's that?
Ken Renninger's in traffic now. He's in lap traffic. He just lapped Christopher Cowgill this last corner, and now is trying to close in on the next group in front of him, and they've been racing pretty hard too. So right now, Ken's going to be dealing with some lap traffic here coming up, which may help Fritz, Novella, and Hillmann close back in after all their chaos. Fritz does seem to be running faster this time.
He's loose.
Oh, well, he was running faster until that.
Novella's going to look to the inside here. I think he's going to be able to capitalize. Yeah, Novella's going to have an easy pass here to take back over second place. As Fritz tried to get back on the throttle, but Fritz is super, super loose now. So this is where you take a deep breath and reset yourself and don't try to be too overly aggressive, as we see Chris Cowgill falling back a little bit there. I'll let those guys around.
Yeah, Chris is just trying to get around the track without much trouble. I'm seeing Danny Sanchez may have fallen off the data now as well. Not sure what's going on there. Maybe having some internet trouble there for Danny. Waiting to see if he pops back up or not. He's showing his out on the data, and then waiting to see where he pops up over here. He may be having some sort of an internet disconnect going on. Hopefully he's able to get that sorted. Let's see, looking around. I mean, pretty much the craziest battle's been that battle for second the whole race. They are still going at it here as Fritz is trying to come back at Novella through the S's. And it looks like he's not going to be able to get a run to make that move back this time, at least. Waiting to see if Hillmann's able to catch back up to him. He's just kind of chilling right there.
Lurking back there.
I think he got it down about a second here in the past 2 laps. So he's really starting to close in just little by little on these guys. Ken Renninger now closing in on the next group of cars in front of him, that being Lauren Vincent, Glenn Grigsby, and Jay Stinson. He just put Steve Lewis a lap down. And now I'm seeing officially on the data Danny Sanchez did drop due to upload packet loss. So that'll leave us with 18 cars left on the track.
Oh, man, guess what, Joe? We only got 4 laps to go until the stage.
I can't believe this race is flying by for a road course race, to be honest with you right now. It's been pretty much action from the start of the green flag all the way to right now. We've seen a lot of chaos happen early, some guys with some early spins, and then Patrick Cowgill getting some massive damage out of the race early with all of that damage. Ken Renninger, though, was the fastest in practice. He was the fastest in qualifying, got the pole, and he's been the fastest in the race, pulled a 7-second lead here as he's going to go lap his teammate Jay Stinson right here. And he's led every lap of the race so far, and is going to be 3 laps away from winning another stage this season and continue to grow his points lead.
You know what I see happening here? Like, Ken, he's in heavy traffic right now. And he had almost a 9-second lead over Novella and Fritz, and they have closed that down to under 7 seconds now. So the longer the Renninger is getting stuck here in lap traffic and not really able to do anything with it, that gap is just closing further or getting closer and closer, which I think Novella and Fritz are also running into lap traffic as well, as Novella is right on the back bumper of Steve Lewis.
You got Lewis right there. Lewis looks like he's going to get out of the way, and that's going to put Jay Stinson right in front of them. Jay's struggling here as well. Lewis is going to let Zach Hillmann go by. Now you got Jay Stinson going to let these boys go by as well. Man, look at that. Zach Hillmann flew it down into 7A. It looked like he gained about 20,000 car lengths right there. So Zach Hillmann's coming.
Right back there.
Oh, he's not going to get any space right there. He's going to get stuck behind Jay. That's not going to help his quest to get closer to those boys. Jay's probably going to have to wait until after the S's to give him space here. This is not a good place to try and overtake somebody. So Zach should be able to take it right here into the hairpin.
Just don't misjudge that braking there on the inside of that hairpin, because it's so easy to lock up and then you push really wide and murder the person that's on your outside, which that did not happen, and Hillmann was able to get around, but Now he has no one in between him and Matthew Fritz and Novella. He kind of has an open track up to them, so it'll be interesting to see if he's able to gain a spot in the next 2 laps or so for those stage points.
Another thing to note, Ken Redinger just got himself back in a clean track this lap as well, as now he's clear of the lap traffic that he was going around. And Novella and Fritz still have to go through a couple more cars in order to get clear. Look at that. Fritz locks it up. He drove it in very deep into that corner. Not able to get it slowed down enough, though. Had to lock it up. Going to lose a lot of time on exit.
Yeah, he was right there on the back of Matt Novella, and he's been there for the last few laps. And just those little mistakes like that, like accidentally overdriving an entry. Kind of the rule of thumb on a road course is slow in and fast out, and it's so easy to just accidentally try to, whenever you really cook it in there on entry, it feels like you're going really, really fast, but then where you look at your lap time, you're like, I don't know where I'm losing all my time, as we are 1 to go at the stage here with Ken Redinger being your leader at the moment. Matt Novella second, Matthew Fritz third, Zach Hillmann fourth, and Justin Parham fifth, round out of the top 5 right now. Some pretty decent bonus points for those guys, especially for Ken Redinger after the week he had last week at Auto Club.
Yeah, he didn't even get stage points last week, so this is going to be a welcome change to his race. Matt Novella and Matthew Fritz are now in that deep traffic in the middle of the field right there, trying to get around Lauren Vincent. Is Fritz, as he locks it up again, he's going to lose time again out of that corner. Vincent's looks like he's going to allow Zach Hillmann around as well. So now Glenn Grigsby is all that's in between Novella and the race leader of Redinger. There he goes around at the end of the S's. So we'll see what the gap is here. But coming into the hairpin for the final time in the stage is going to be Ken Redinger. And he's about to add 10 points to his points lead right here. As he comes around to the line, that is going to give him another stage win here on the season. Ken Redinger going to win the stage. Matt Novella going to come to the line. Looks like he's going to be P2 here. He's got 7 seconds to make up, though. Matthew Fritz right behind them. Zach Hillmann right behind those two. Justin Parham a little bit further back, but had a good stage here. Very clean run, and now is in 5th. Able to overcome the issues he had earlier, and will get a top 5 in the stage. Kyle not too far behind there in 6th. Zach Panzarella trying to track him down. He's in 7th. Michael Mata, after his early lap, charge through the field, has gotten up to 8th, and that is where he's going to finish the stage. And then the battle for 9th is on here between Dalton Geyer and Michael Wolf. It looks like Dalton going to hold on over Wolf at the line.
Yeah, this should round out our top 10 in stage points here. And I see cars coming down pit road right now. Lauren Vincent, Chris Cowgill. So that might... Oh, it looks like Lauren Vincent has a meatball, though. He might have crashed and got some damage somewhere.
Yeah, that would be a shame for him. Right now, I'm looking at the lap times of everybody, and Ken's coming around here to complete another lap. He just ran an 18.6, so that's about 2 seconds off his best lap. He's got Brandon Lawless, who he just lapped, who just flew off the track in turn 1. He's able to get it going again, but he's going to be right in front of second place. As I think, if you look there, that battle for second, look who's right behind him. Again, he's there. He's back.
It's just lurking right there. So with as hard as these guys have been driving, what do you think their field situation looks like? Because I know when we were talking before the race, we were talking about 40, 41 laps maybe. But these guys really haven't been in conserve mode at all. As we see, Fritz is really trying to get an advantage there on Matt Novella in that one corner and keeps locking the front tires up. And then Novella is able to pull away through this section with those little bitty mistakes from Fritz. As you see Fritz dirt tracking it, going to bring Zach Hillmann up to him as they're dealing with a lap car here. Not a lot of room right there.
That's always a bold place to make a pass on a lap car.
And Hillmann
now they're
is
gonna
right at the back bumper of Fritz here.
Novella pitting right here. Novella's in the pits, so this is what I'm thinking. I think these three have definitely run their stuff so hard that they're gonna have to pit no matter what. I mean, I'm not even worried about the fuel. I'm worried about their tires at this point. They've definitely had to use up those tires a lot. I think the guys that maybe have done some job at saving, whether or not it's been a good job and been enough, or they really want to go with that strategy, would be your guys like Justin Parham, Kyle Lynott, Zach Panzarella, that group of guys. I would assume of maybe even trying to save a little bit of something here if they can. The other guy that I think maybe would be able to save and make it to the end if they wanted to would be your race leader, Ken Redinger, because he's been pretty much on cruise control this whole race. Has almost a 10-second lead now over Matthew Fritz, so he's got complete control of this race, and I think he can do whatever he wants at this point strategy-wise. Seeing Novella pit that last time, I would imagine if these guys are pitting, they're going to respond on this lap.
Ken Redinger coming in.
Yeah, there you go. I think Hillmann's going to respond as well. Fritz is going to be the one to stay out, going to go lead a lap. That's the right call, I think, for I figured somebody would stay out here and try and go lead a lap. That makes sense in my head. You know, I want to go get those bonus points for lead the lap right here. And maybe Fritz is thinking, if I have clean track, maybe I could be faster than the guys on cold tires for this one lap. Here comes Justin Parham this time. Yeah, I think everybody's going to pit. I think everybody's in the boat of we want tires. And I think you can see it right here.
So.
Yep. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. Ken's going to jack up the right side. And there it goes down. And I'm going to assume that left side's going to come up here in a second. Yep. And there it goes down. And he's away. We'll have to wait and see where he comes out compared to Novella, because those two are probably going to be pretty close to each other if Novella didn't take tires. Novella does not. I don't think Novella took tires on his pit stop right there. Or if he did, he only took 2.
Might have been 2. There's only 7 second or almost an 8-second stop, which is
that's too fast for this car for it to be a 2-tire stop, I think. Unless he took lefts, which would be a very bold call to take lefts only. What do you think, buddy? You think if he took lefts that it's gonna work?
I don't know. There was once in an ARCA car where he had nothing, like I had nothing for him because he took tires where I didn't, and he didn't even take 4 tires. He took 2 and was still able to run me down in those little closing 10 laps or so. So it might be a strategy call here. It looks like he's keeping up pretty well with Redinger right now, but Redinger taking 4 tires, he still has that little uneasy, uncomfortable period where the tires are still coming up to 10th. Where Novella might be comfortable on his tires with it already being up to 10.
The thing I'm thinking about is, because I've done this before, where I've been on 2 tires at this track. Not in this car, obviously, but in the Next Gen Cup car, and 2 tires for the first couple of laps was possibly the scariest experience ever to be on 2. So I don't know how this car is reacting, but I'm going to expect that once Ken gets those tires up to temp, he should be excessively faster than Novella, I would assume, on pace.
We can kind of already see it here. As you can see Ken right up there behind Steve Lewis, and he's already pulled out just in this half a lap, locks up the right front right there. That ain't going to help anything, but he's building a gap here on Matt Novella, and I think that might be a little bit of a tire difference, and Ken just bringing those tires back up to where he's comfortable with them. I think. I don't know, but
we're gonna have to wait and see. Right now, I think we're seeing those different strategies play out, though. So Matthew Fritz is still out there. He's got almost a 16-second lead now. 17-second lead over Kyle Lynott, who's in second and hasn't pitted yet. Looking to see Zach Panzarella still hasn't pitted in third. So those 3 right now are heading the field right now, and potentially could be trying to go, because the only logical thing I could think of to stay out as long.
Loose. He's off the track.
Oh, he's gonna wreck it.
Oh, he was trying to push there. trying to make up that gap on Fritz, I think, or Panzarella with Lynott Fritz, and that's going to cost him. Like he had, if everything cycles like it normally would have, he had a pretty decent lead going into that or coming out of the pit cycle, but
that's going to make it interesting. He's going to have 3 seconds now to make up to Novella. He is going to have the tire advantage though, so we'll see if he's able to do it. On top of that, though, are these guys trying to go to the end? Because there's no reason to really stay out this long at this point.
No, I don't know. I wonder about Fritz, Lynott, and Panzarella. Like we saw Fritz kind of driving aggressive there for that battle for second between the Novella and Hillmann earlier in the race, but the couple guys that's sticking to my mind here that really haven't made a whole lot of noise this race is Kyle Lynott and Zach Panzarella. They've just kind of been running a steady pace in the middle of the pack. So these are two people that I could definitely possibly see being able to make it to the end from here, as we have 16 to go from good old Sonoma.
I think the telltale sign of that is going to be how hard does Panzarella try and hold off Novella when he gets there. If he lets him go easy, then I'm going to assume Panzarella doesn't think he's in a good spot to make it, and it's not worth it to try and fight. So this is going to be that moment where we find out just how good Zach is feeling, what his deck of cards looks like for the rest of this race. Looks like Matthew Fritz is pitting this time. So Matthew Fritz is going to blink. He's going to come down to pit after leading some laps, potentially trying to just go a little bit longer, maybe try and use fresher tires here on the back end. Oh, my goodness. Brandon Lawless off the track there in the last corner. Had some trouble. He got it back going. This will turn the lead over to Matthew Fritz. Here you go. So Panzarella is going to completely, so I don't think he let them go on purpose right there. I think Zach tried to push and there was nothing there. He just completely missed almost hit the tire barrier. So Zach gonna lose both spots right there. And look at this, Ken Redinger's already on the back bumper in Novella, even after losing those 3 seconds.
Yeah, that's if you're Kyle or not, he's still out on track, has not came down pit road yet. Matt Novella and Ken Redinger, they're kind of maintaining that 7 seconds gap or whatever right now, but right now Redinger's kind of stuck behind Novella. So if Redinger is able to get around Novella, and we've seen he made a mistake and he's already right back up to the back bumper of Novella here a little bit, but if you're Redinger, you just kind of got to take a deep breath and stay calm. Even with that mistake that you had, know that you can overcome from that little deficit that you created yourself by losing control. And Kyle Lynott again staying out this lap right here. So I'm wondering if Lynott isn't one that's able to make it. We keep saying that, but
this would be a massive flip around for him because he was in 5th place. He's currently leading. I mean, he's got a 6-second lead. It's going to be hard to hold on to a 6-second lead with 12 laps remaining in this race, unless these tires like really start to equalize a lot. But I don't expect him to equalize enough for him to hold on to this lead. But he might be able to sneak a 3rd place out of this and getting these laps led as well. I think what he's hoping for right now is Novella and Redinger to get into a big heated battle behind him where they slow each other up a lot and Kyle can just stay in front of him.
Yeah. Or if you think about the last 2 races that Lynott has kind of had like horribly bad luck. Like I don't even know how to put his bad luck on a scale of bad luck, but it was definitely up there. So he may just be looking for a decent finish this race. I don't know. I know Lynott's pretty strong at road courses, so.
Ooh. Oh, really Jay right there is going to come into the pits. And here comes Ken Redinger. Ken's going to try and take advantage of this. Look at this.
They're going to bump. Oh, no, they keep it clean. Oh, Novella tried to get aggressive on the throttle.
And almost spun it. That might be the move for the race win. We'll have to wait and see what happens with Kyle Lynott, but they gained a second right there with that move. So that tells me that Lynott is probably not going to be able to hold on to this thing. Zach Manzarella is still out there too on his run. He's in 4th place. So good job by him. I don't think Michael Mata in 6th has pitted either. So he's worked his way up to 6th. If he's able to go to the end, he might get a good finish out of this. Got a big gap back to Parham in 8th. He's just got Fritz right behind him right now, who's in 7th. So he might be able to get a top 7 out of this if he can make it to the end. Some other unsung heroes right now on the lead lap that I'm looking at. 10th place, Mark Zabok did not put down a lap time in qualifying. Started from 17th. He's worked his way up into the top 10. Just a second behind Dalton Geyer right in front of him, trying to get into 9th place. And then Cody Matthews right behind them. I saw him. He was spinning out early in the race. He's been able to recover to 11th right now. Currently the last car on the lead lap. So good run for him. Good recovery from him. Michael Wolf right now being scored the first car a lap down. He just got passed by Lynott this last time around. He did come out of the pits though, so hopefully he's got some good pace under that car still. Patrick Cowgill, another house. Oh yeah. Another housekeeping. Patrick Cowgill is back on the track. He has passed Chris. So in the battle of the Cowgills, Patrick currently is winning that.
One thing that oh no, he must have shut his camera off. Oh, Patrick.
we have lost the camera. That's unfortunate.
Redinger's definitely been able to pull a gap on Novella, and I think this right here might definitely be just a tire difference. Lynott's still holding on to a 3-second lead over Redinger, but that interval is kind of closing a little bit. It's not closing as fast as I thought it would be, though, but it definitely is closing.
Yeah, it's kind of starting to maybe stagnate a little bit. Gonna have to wait and see. Let's see. You know what? I think I spoke to you. This time around, it looks like we come across the line. Lynott crosses, and then yeah, that was a whole second gained by Ken. So at this rate, Ken should be there with about 8 to go to make that move. Michael Wolf also coming back now on Lynott after letting him go because he's on fresher tires. Zach Hillmann just got around Zach Panzarella for 4th. So that strategy, the older tire starting to go against Zach Panzarella, that is. He fell to 5th. Matthew Fritz still a bit behind, and then Michael Mata in 7th. So we'll see where those guys cycle out. Right now, I'm going to assume that Kyle Lynott and Zach Panzarella and Mata are all going to the end without pitting.
I think that's a pretty safe assumption. Those are definitely the 3 cars that we have yet to see. Well, we have actually a few other cars that we've yet to see pit. Mark Zabok hasn't pit yet. Dalton Geyer, Cody Matthews, but they're kind of in a different situation, just trying to hang on to the lead lap here. I don't know if Lynott's going to be able to hold on to it though, because Redinger's got it down under 2 seconds now, and like you were talking about last lap, I think that's about a second or so a lap as Lynott gets really tight and goes wide and hits the grass, and that's going to give Redinger a little bit of time back to him.
And Novella behind lost time that last lap. He lost about 1.5 seconds. So Novella falling out of the picture. Zach Hillmann trying to close in on him for 3rd. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. But right now, the battle for the lead is about to heat up. Michael Wolf right now is going to be the innocent bystander. He actually is going to run wide, and that's going to let Ken Redinger go by. So there's going to be no cars in between Redinger and Lynott now. Lynott's still leading here. He's going to come around here. It's going to be 9 to go this time. But I do believe that Ken's going to be on his back bumper here probably by the end of next lap. So he's going to have to hold off Ken Redinger on his back bumper for about 8 laps.
That's a stiff order or a stiff ask, or I don't even know what you want to call, but that's a challenge in itself, especially knowing the Ranger took 4 tires on his pit stop. But it is kind of impressive though, with what Lynott, Panzarella, those guys here running top 10 or so that have yet to pit. Being on that old of tires compared to 4 tires, they're not really getting their doors blown off by it, which is kind of impressive to me. Like they're kind of holding their own if you really think about it.
Yeah, they are. Novella was able to correct it that last lap, gained about a second back, so he's starting to close back in. Hillmann was a little bit slower than the leader, so he fell back. Right now, it looks like Novella's only battle is going to be in front of him, which is the battle for the lead right now going down into the S's. Ken Redinger is all over the back of Lynott here going through the S's, and this is going to be a lot of pressure to sustain to the finish for Kyle. He's going to be on older tires, got to worry about the fuel. Ken's got neither of those things to worry about, and also got to worry about, this could let Novella back into it if they battle too hard here. Look at how much better Ken is in these braking zones. Ken didn't even lock it up right there, and he gained time where Lynott did.
Yeah, Lynott really had to send it in there to try to maintain his position, and Ken played it calm and cool and not locked up a little bit. Ken didn't. I think all Redinger has to do right here is kind of stay patient. You know, you're on the fresher tires. You know, Lynott has not pit yet, so it's just a matter of time on that last corner, that last little hairpin. You get the advantage on the inside. The one thing that Redinger can't do is make a mistake, not spinning the tires, not clipping anything wrong, or getting himself in a situation where he spins himself or whatever.
The other thing he's got to worry about is this going to let Matt Novella back into the race too? You know, you can't sit behind Kyle for too long either, because Novella might be able to close back up. He has got it down to about 4.5 seconds now.
Yeah, Novella is definitely closing a little bit with this battle going on right here. So that is definitely something that Ken needs to kind of keep in the back of his mind. He has he almost I know what he wanted to do right there, but Lynott blocked the line. I think he was trying to cross over and get to the inside. I think Redinger expected Lynott to push wide there with how shallow his entry was, and whenever Lynott didn't push wide, there was nowhere for Ken to go. Kind of caught him off guard, I think, and backed him up a little bit.
Yeah, that's going to cost him a lot of time. Now going to have to close back in on Lynott. Novella's still about 5 seconds back. Novella actually should start getting a little bit worried about Hillmann. He's starting to close in on him. So that might get a little interesting here coming down the stretch as well. Panzarella's still holding on to 5th, but he's got Matthew Fritz coming up right behind him now on those fresher tires. So they're about to be battling for that top 5. Mata still looks like he's in a world of his own in 7th, so it looks like the strategy for him is played out. Same with Zabok, Geyer, and Matthews in 9th, 10th, and 11th. As long as they can make it, this strategy has played out for them as well, as Michael Wolf is still being scored a lap down behind these guys.
See Redinger slowly closing that gap up. Now they're both locking up on the entry to this hairpin. So I don't know if Redinger was just super aggressive on those fresh tires, but it doesn't seem like he's really able to get an advantage over Kyle Lynott on the older tires right here. And I don't know if it's just, it's one thing to catch a car and it's another thing to pass them, especially whenever that car ahead of you is running your identical line.
Well, you know what I'm looking at? The only person that seems to be gaining any substantial time is Zach Hillmann in 4th. That last lap, Novella lost time to Lynott, actually. So Hillmann's the only one that's kind of running good lap times right now. Ken was a little bit faster than Lynott the last time. But, being right up behind him, it makes it very difficult. We're coming to 5 to go this time. So Lynott's only going to have to hold on to this for another 5. He's getting really loose. Yeah. The wheel spin was incredible through the S's. You can see how hard Kyle's trying to push it to stay away. I don't know if he's going to be able to hold on to this thing. But one thing's for certain is if these two get tangled up, Novella and Hillmann are going to be right there. Oh, and there it is. There it is. That's going to be it.
Yep. Well, I was trying to hold on to it. Ranger locks up, goes wide, Lynott tries to cross over
he's
here.
He's going to try the crossover. No, he's not going to have it.
No. Ranger going to be able to carry the momentum with a little bit more throttle on the outside. There was more room to play with. Not having that super tight radius on the inside to kind of whip the car around. But we'll see what Renninger's able to do with clean air here and a little bit fresher tires. I would expect Renninger kind of pull away and gap Lynott a little bit.
Renninger's going to have to pick it up here because Hillmann is coming. He made up a 1.5 seconds that last time. He's got it down to 7 seconds now. If he's able to put down those lap times while Renninger's leading, then that's going to be very scary for the rest of the field. He is only 2, but he does have to get back around Novella and Lynott. That's actually probably about to heat up because Hillmann's got that down to 2 seconds. He's been trying to close back in on that 56 car ever since the incident early in the race. So that might get a little hairy here at the end. Gonna have to wait and see what happens with those two. Fritz is now right behind Panzarella for 5th. Those two going down the S's. So that's your other battle of old versus new tires right now.
Yeah. Panzarella just still trying to hold on. Cody Dorsey in the chat talking about Lynott getting wide. And yeah, one of the things that Lynott has going for him, or I should say doesn't have going for him, is he hasn't hit this race. So he's on the same tires he started with, kind of in the same boat as Panzarella. As Matthew Fritz looking to the inside. Panzarella looks like he's going to go ahead and give it to him. Maybe they're going to drag race to the start-finish line. Fritz super loose, getting aggressive on the throttle. Fritz able to take over that position to grab 5th position, but he gets super loose on entry there.
Yeah,
oh man,
be careful
these guys are having their hands full.
If you look further on back, Michael Amata had a big mistake last lap. He's now right in front of Parham. So old versus new tires now for 7th. Amata lost his entire advantage that he had over Parham in the last couple. He ran a 127 that last time, or 126.9.
Why is going to mess up his entry here?
Amata's struggling really hard right now. I don't know what's going on with that car, but
Let's see what he looks like on board here. See if he's calm and collected. I don't know. He looks pretty calm.
Well,
bouncing
Parham
off
got loose. Oh my. Those guys are getting
Joe,
close.
My foot fell asleep. Oh, hold on. Pause. A break. We do got 3 laps to go now as Renninger gets through the start-finish line, though. Renninger is still our leader.
Yep. Kyle Lynott, though, is backed up towards this is going to be a battle for seconds. Oh, we got Brandon Lowless having trouble in the S's. He's going to lock it down, though. He's good. He's good. Everybody's okay.
Oh. Something happened here. Fritz off the track. Panzarella's able to get back around him. Fritz with the slowdown, it looks like. Or maybe that was just a local caution. I saw a yellow flag. I don't know what that means on here.
Novella got around Lynott. Now Hillmann's all over the back of Lynott. I would imagine that Hillmann is not going to have any sort of patience right now because he sees the 56 right there.
Yeah, and
Lynott's got to be careful because he almost flew off the track right there.
Yeah, Hillmann and Novella having a little bit of an exchange earlier in the race. It'll be interesting to see. This should be super easy for Hillmann to get here with Lynott on older tires, able to wrap the bottom, and now it's just maybe he has a target view right on Novella from all their earlier race shenanigans.
Get your popcorn out, 2 laps.
Thinking about how hard they raced at the beginning of this thing, imagine what that race would be like with 1 to go.
That's about to get very interesting. If Hillmann's able to put together a good lap here, he will be able to get close enough to make some sort of a move. Right now, though, Novella's doing his best to try and run away with that second spot. About 1.5 seconds. You can see the gap right there between them. Right now, though, Hillmann just looks so much
Yeah.
better on his tires. Look at how much gap he just gained in that corner alone. He's got it down a half second in the last half a lap. He's going to be on his back bumper here on this last lap.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a race for second, I do believe. And the thing that Lynott and Panzarella can hope for is there's a little bit of a gap there between them, but if they wipe each other out, good enough.
That would promote them forward.
Yeah. And Novella locks it up here in the hairpin. Hugs that inside really, really tight. Hillmann loose on the exit, and we're at our white flag. One to go from Sonoma.
Ken Redinger been pretty much dominant all race long. Had some trouble in the middle section of the race, but was able to recover, able to take back over the race. Uh-oh, here we go. Oh, no.
Oh, man. Hillmann had a little bit of a different entry angle than what Novella did, so Novella has the advantage. But we can definitely tell that Hillmann has a little bit of more oomph in his tires or his car than Novella's riding with. So this last half of the lap is going to be really interesting as long as no one puts their nose in the wall right there.
Gonna have to watch and see if maybe the move happens back in the hairpin. That would be interesting if it happened back there. Ken Redinger is 5 seconds up the road, though. He's been leading this race. He's led the most laps today, got the pole. Ken Redinger got a couple corners left to go to get this bad boy home for another win this season in his first road course win. This is gonna be a very impressive win and dominant win from him. He's going through the hairpin. Here comes second and third into the hairpin.
Oh, going shipping.
He sent it. He's not gonna get him.
Nope.
He's not gonna get him. So that means Ken Redinger crosses to win. Matt Novella gonna come home in second. Zach Hillmann third. But Ken Redinger, what a performance! Pole to win, wins the stage, wins the race, wins it all today at a road course, buddy.
No, yeah, super exciting stuff. And this is one of the things that some of these other drivers might have not have wanted to see. A absolute oval ringer figuring out how to turn right. Definitely probably some concerns for some of these other drivers now.
Buddy, I don't know if you can go back and look at it, but the drag race, if that's what you want to call it, to the line for fourth place between Kyle Lynott, Zach Panzarella, and Matthew Fritz is
let's see here. I might be able to go back and find it.
That's gonna be
close enough.
Yeah, this is gonna be very interesting right here.
Oh, Lynott on the inside. Zach Panzarella on the outside.
Both these cars running out of fuel right here too.
Oh, everything's sputtering. And we talked about that pre-race of some of these cars being right just below that line. Definitely an impressive run for Kyle Lynott and Zach Panzarella, able to pull that off and come away with the top fives from it.
Yeah, they got great runs out of it. They're out of fuel, but they get the great runs out of it. Ken Redinger, of course, your race winner today. What a performance from him. We'll be talking to him here in a couple minutes about his performance today. We'll also be talking to second place finisher. That was Matt Novella today. Was able to qualify third, moved his way up to second there. Had some very heated battles along the way. Was able to get a P2 out of it, and it looks like something happened potentially at the end of the race to his car. Wonder if I can go back and see what happened there.
Oh, man.
I'm gonna go take a gander at what happened to that car. Third place was Zach Hillmann at the end of it, and yeah, I don't think anything malicious happened. I think he just destroyed it. Third place will go to Zach Hillmann today. We saw him get spun out there. He was not able to recover all the way back, but he had great pace to get back to third there. Great recovery from him. Kyle Lynott on the no stop strategy, on the one gas tank strategy, able to be the best of that group in a photo finish over Zach Panzarella, over supremacy of that battle to round out that top five. Matthew Fritz ends up right behind him in sixth, not able to get back to where he was running, but did get some laps led today, so good on him. Get a good top six finish out of it. Justin Parham did get around Michael Mata at the end to get a P7 over Mata, who will get P8 on his no-stop strategy. And then running out the top 10, two guys on the no-stopper. Great job by Mark Zabak. Keep it on the lead lap, finish in P9. Run out that top 10, buddy's going to be Dalton Geyer, last car on the lead lap.
Finishing in 11th place, first car 1 lap down is going to be Michael Wolf. 12th, Cody Matthews in the 10 machine. Glenn Grigsby 13th. Brandon Lola's 14th. Jay Stinson. Last week we talked to him, and he just kind of wanted to get around the track. And it looks like he did that. 3 laps down, nothing too shabby. Still top 20 out of it, or top 15. Steve Lewis in the number 88 is going to be your 16th place finisher. And then Patrick Cowgill and Chris Cowgill, 17th and 18th, which we saw Patrick have some issues. Lauren Vincent in the number 51 is going to be your 19th place finisher. Rounding out the field in 20th will be Danny Sanchez in number 62.
We saw Danny disconnect with his internet troubles there. Tough break for Danny. Wasn't able to get the finish. He was running in the top 12 there when the disconnect happened. So hopefully everything all right with him, able to recover then next week. We're going to be waiting here to see if the points get updated. There are some guys joining the broadcast waiting. I do see a certain admin in there if we want to talk to him first and then go to our top 3.
Oh, yeah, I'm good. Is that Patrick that you're talking about?
Yeah.
Patrick? And
Patrick,
let's see if driver info works. I don't know if it will.
Pull Patrick up here. Patrick, you got a copy?
Oh, yeah, there we go.
I got you.
Well, that was a really rough race for you right there. We saw you get the short end of the stick of possibly one of the largest snowball effects I've ever seen at a road course. It all started right in front of you there. We saw Zach Hillmann got spun out, and then Hillmann and Parham had contact. Then you try to get around Parham, got that wheel spin, and then it ended with you in the wall. Tough break for you. Beyond that, how did you really feel about your car here today?
I felt like I had some speed. I was stuck behind Parham, and I kept trying to get by him, and he kept running blocking moves. And then when I finally got to his side, the 3 times that I got to his side, I couldn't get my throttle down without spinning the tires, and so I couldn't get the position. And then on the last one, I feel like he ran me off the track, but I don't know. I haven't watched the replay yet.
Yeah, it was such a tough position where you guys ended up because it was in the S's, and there's not really a lot of space there. You both were struggling for grip out of there. It was a very tough break. It was great having you on the cams again this week. How did you feel about the car setup for today and everything like that?
I thought it was crap. I mean, there was I don't know. There was no grip. And I don't think it was the car. I think it was the setup. Because I know this car at Daytona Road and Watkins Glen, it feels planted, and here it just wanted to spin.
Yeah, we definitely saw you struggle a little bit more than we're used to seeing you on a road course. You weren't. I know you're not really the biggest fan of Sonoma either out of the road courses, but you were qualified a little further back than we're used to. Not really sure what you would have had for those boys up front either. It was good having you back on the cams though this week. You, Chris, and Mata, we had all 3 on the cam, so those look pretty. Those were working good again. So thanks for that. It was nice having you back out there on the cams.
Yeah, I know Buddy's probably mad at me because I killed my cam when I dropped out because I was so mad. And then I was like, well, maybe I should at least finish the race. I could probably gain a position or something.
I went to turn your cam back on. I was like, oh, I don't even remember what I said. I told Joe that you done exited out of your cam, and I assumed that's what happened. It was just being upset with the way the race went or whatever.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah. I don't blame you one bit there. Some of the stuff can can be emotional and get under your skin.
So is there anything I like asking like admin sort of questions. So it looked like it was able to go on a no stopper. So is there anything like maybe that we're looking at adjusting when we go to another road course this season? Because we did see guys going no stops right there and make it to the end, and it really threw some interesting stuff in the race. Or are we gonna continue with that kind of crazy strategy?
I think we're gonna keep it the same. Um, we might make Watkins Glen an extra 5 laps. I'll have to figure out what the fuel mileage is there, but 45 just seems kind of short to me for some reason. But I think Daytona would be perfectly fine. I think there'll at least be one pit stop there.
Yeah, that was the strangest thing about the races we saw. I ran a couple practice laps before just to see what the fuel was. I'm like, buddy, this is going to be right on the number for some of these guys if they're able to maybe shift up or do some stuff differently with saving fuel. And we saw right there that we saw two guys able to do it in the top 5, and I think about 4 or 5 on the lead lap were able to do it. So it definitely added another element to the race. I think we're going to Bristol next week, if memory serves me right.
Yep, it's Bristol
So,
next week.
So how are we feeling about Bristol next week?
I played around with the setup, and I'm not digging it. And I think we're gonna run the iRacing setup, which I'm also not digging. But I don't know. We'll see when we get there, I guess.
All right, Patrick. Before we let you go, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
As always, my sponsor, CT and MB1 Connected Cure, my teammates at DDI, you guys for putting on the broadcast, and everybody that helps run the league, and my wifey for letting me race.
Well, Patrick, I know it was another tough one for you, but you're coming off the high of a win last week, so you at least got that going for you. We look forward to seeing you next week at Bristol.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Patrick Cowgill, admin of the series. Always good to have him up in the booth to talk to. All right, buddy. Let's see. Who do we got around here? So I could always forcibly pull second place if I need to. So which way you want to go? You want to go 1, 2, 3 or 3, 2, 1?
Surprise me. Just let me know. That's not really a surprise anymore, but I got a button I got to hit.
All right, let me close my eyes, and wherever my mouse ends up, whoever my mouse ends up closest to is who we're gonna do.
Right.
Just tell me when to stop.
Stop.
We're closer to Zach Hillmann, so we're gonna go 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. Okie dokie.
All right, Zach Hillmann, you got a copy.
Hey man, how's it going?
Man, you had a pretty wild race right there. You're able to get back to third, almost got your way back into second at the end of the race. Had a 4th place in the stage. It really just turned into a bit of a recovery drive for you. Why don't you walk us through what happened in your race there today?
Man, I put in a lot of practice laps, and just tune as much as I can, and it definitely paid off in the long run. But yeah, I don't know exactly really what happened on that hairpin early in the race there. I don't know if I was like net code or just he got loose and got into me a little bit. I thought I gave him enough room on the outside there, but lucky enough, I got a lucky bounce on the inside wall. The car felt a little pushy and everything in the corner, but fast enough. I think I could have caught up with him, and felt like I was right there. And man, it was like skating on ice out there, though. It was a handful.
Yeah, so we heard we had Patrick Cowgill up here talking about the setup, and he said he really felt like there wasn't any grip out there at any point with the way the car drove. Did it feel like it sounds like it felt like the same sort of way with you? Was it just that way was there any like sort of like sweet spot with the tires where it felt really good for a few laps, or was it just like that the whole run?
Oh, I mean, the coming off cold tires, it's like you might as well put ice skates on the dang thing. But I'd say 3 laps into the run, you got like a 4-lap kind of, the car feels really good, and then it just falls off, tapers off really quick, and then it becomes a handful after that. Once you get, I'd say 10 laps in, those tires are just mush and pushing all over the place.
Yeah, you ran some really good lap times. You were good in quali. You got yourself a P2 there. You got P4 after the spin in the stage, P3 in the race. We were watching your lap times. You were really closing in on those guys at the front there at the end. Did you feel like maybe if the car was at 100%, that you would have been able to do something with them there at the end?
Man, I feel like if things went a little different, I didn't get spun, I might have had enough to get Ken out of the booth this week and have him sitting there waiting to be interviewed next week. But unfortunately, he takes another win. We got to figure out how we can start slowing that guy down, because it's going to be a long, hard season to try to chase him here at the end. But just got to focus on next week and just keep pushing through, and maybe we can dethrone the Kenneth King right now.
Well, looking at your results this season, this is your second top 5, and both top 5s you got in the season are tracks where you have to use the brake pedal. Next week at Bristol, that's going to be definitely another place where the brake pedal is going to come into effect. So it looks like you got your kind of like short track game down pretty good. So are you feeling good about Bristol next week?
Oh yeah, man. Bristol is going to be it's going to be fun. It's going to be chaotic. Hopefully netcode won't give us too much of an issue, but I mean, I go all the way back to the NR 2003 days. So those short tracks and having to use the brake pedal and those long runs, that's kind of my forte. This new car that they have has been a handful to get used to, but it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun.
All right, I'm going to give it over to Buddy because I didn't give him a chance to ask Patrick any questions. So I'm going to give him a chance to ask you questions. If Buddy's able to.
I know you're probably pretty familiar with Patrick being super dominant on ovals. What goes through your mind seeing how dominant he was tonight at Sonoma, turning right? I know you guys go to Watkins Glen later on this season, which is another road course. And if I'm not mistaken, I think you guys have 2 more road courses. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but I thought there was 3 road courses this season. How do you go about preparing for that and seeing what Redinger was able to do tonight?
Well, now I know that I just gotta maybe call out of work more and turn some more practice laps. I don't know. It seems like I put in as much time as I could in the seat this week, and still it fell a little bit short, but other circumstances coming through. But man, I've been racing with these guys for a while. It's a good group of guys. Patrick and Zach Penzarella, really good drivers too. I mean, competing with them every week is always tough. Me and Zach, for some reason, I was saying last week, we always have like a magnet with each other on the track. No matter where he is, I'm right there. And some reason we always find bumping into each other or something like that. We try not to. I swear we do, but watching later in the season, you'll see more of it. For some reason, we just find a way to get next to each other on the track and beat up for cars together. So it's gonna be fun going into Bristol. And thank you guys, for all the stuff that you do. I really enjoy watching the broadcast afterwards, and you guys put on a good show, and keep up the good work, and we appreciate you guys.
Yep, thank you. Yeah, that's all I had, Zach, or Joe. I was looking at his name here on the thing, said Zach. And my brain ain't functioning where I can read and talk about 2 different things at once.
But you guys have a good evening. Get Matt up in here and figure out what the heck happened on that hairpin for me. We'll talk about it next week. We'll see if I can get the chrome horn to him there at Bristol. It's a little play right there. But you guys have a good night.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you coming up in the booth. Congrats on the 3rd place finish here tonight there, Zach. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Oh man, just you guys, putting on a great league. Anybody watching that, wants to get into a good league, this is where it's at. Just everybody that puts all this stuff together, man. Shout out and good things for you guys, and yeah, it's a great thing to be a part of, and we're having a lot of fun.
There you go, Zach Hillmann, 3rd place finisher tonight. What great performance from him, buddy. He was able to really get that thing moving forward there at the end of the race, but wasn't able to get past our 2nd place finisher here tonight. And that was Matt Novella, as it doesn't let me move him immediately. And now it does. Dude. There we go. Well, Matt Novella, you got a copy.
Yeah, I got a copy, guys.
Well, you had a very interesting race. It sounds like it was getting interesting in the waiting room there as well for a second. You You got second in the stage. You got second in the race. Third in qualifying. Looked like you had some pretty good pace there. What did you do on that pit stop that got you in position there to battle Ken?
I only took left sides on that pit stop.
Oh, you called it, Joe.
Joe knows my strategy. But yeah, I only took left side. It was a bad call, I think, at the end because just those right sides just couldn't hang down. I couldn't put the power down late in the race. So I think forward is definitely the call. But yeah, two. It got me up to Kenny, having a little battle with him, but then they just those four tires outlasted it.
So I know I've done it before in the next gen car. I was kind of curious to hear what it would be like on the cold tires because I know having unequal tires, you have one set of tires that are warm and the other side of your tires are cold is usually not a good recipe at road courses. And I remember in this car in particular that it drove, or not in this car, in the next gen car, it drove very, very sketchy for about 3 or 4 laps after coming out of the pits before the tires got up to temp. Did you have like any sort of that feel that it was like really more sketchy than it was on
I've
cold tires?
definitely noticed it in this car more than any other car. That as soon as trying to take left-hand turns, it was kind of slow. But as soon as I try to take right-handers, it would just turn in too early. It was like, geez. So yeah, the first couple of laps, it was just trying to get used to it. But yeah, it was good after a couple laps, and then after that, it was just nothing. Just trying to keep the tires cool enough to keep them under. What's that?
You're just trying to hold on pretty much and see if you can get back around Ken.
Oh no! Ken, once he got back by me, I knew there was no shot. It was just trying to hold off Zach, basically.
Well, we know that you've been very good on the road courses here. I think you won 3 out of 4 last season. So you did have 3 in a row going into this race. How different was tonight having to battle Ken Redinger for the win? It's not somebody you usually are battling on a road course for a race win.
Yeah, good for Kenny, man. He's been doing good these past couple of road courses. Even in other series, he's stepped it up a little bit. But I wouldn't say it was much of a battle. He checked out early. I mean, it was just a couple laps there in the middle, but then, yeah, he was an whole level by himself.
I'm gonna pass it over to Buddy. I'm sure he's got some technical questions that I haven't asked. We'll see.
Not really technical questions, but I want to kind of feed off of what Zach wanted to ask and ask you what you think happened out of the hairpin whenever you and Hillmann got together.
Oh, that was all on me. That was just me trying to grab too much gas at once, and it just shot the car a little bit to the right when he was inside of me, and it hooked him. It was completely my fault.
I haven't talked about netcode yet tonight because we really haven't seen a whole lot. Was there anything that you noticed that might have been netcode-ish? Because that is definitely something we were wondering how it was going to play out being a road course with all these other tracks that had horrendous netcode, and it seems like people was able to race pretty close without getting shuffled out without hitting anyone, just random incidents or whatever. We really didn't see a whole lot of that.
This race has seemed pretty good. It seemed pretty under control with the netcode, but no, I don't think that was an issue. I didn't go back and look and see what actually happened, but it was I turned them. It was as soon as I got back on the gas. Yeah, it just
that incident right there, we saw kind of snowball backwards because that happened between you and Hillmann, and Hillmann fell back, and then some other stuff. Cowgill got a little mixed up in everything about a half a lap later. Definitely an unfortunate deal. And it did look like you guys were having your hands full. Everyone was kind of dirt tracking it around a lot of these corners.
Yeah, with all that power in these cars, trying to put the power down was tough, especially coming out of the hairpin, top of the hill. Tough.
Yeah, I don't think I got anything else, Joe. I was going to talk about points, but I don't know if they updated points yet or not. I haven't seen anything.
I mean, I can ask the question then. Okay, I can ask that question. So last week, Matt, you moved up, or actually no, you moved down 8 spots because you missed the race last week. So you went from being 6th in the points and you fell to 14th. This week, you went right back to where you were in 6th. So you're right back to where you were. You moved up back inside the top 12. I'm trying to see if I don't know if they started counting the drop weeks yet or not. I believe they have. So yeah, so the drop week got counted. So this points kind of got a little shook up by that as well. So you're right back to where you were in sixth. You're only a couple points behind Lynott, Cowgill, and Parham. And Fritz isn't too far ahead of you either. He's only 20 ahead, and he's in second. So I think you're looking pretty good to potentially get your way back up there. How do you feel about going to Bristol next week and potentially moving up?
Feeling pretty good. I like Bristol. I like this car at Bristol. I think that six pack we had a couple seasons ago for the Monday night series. Like I believe I won that race. So I mean, I got somewhat high hopes going into that race. But no, I like Bristol, so it should be interesting. Plus, there's plenty season left to chase down Kenny. So I think we should be all right.
You guys got a lot of work to do looking at the points to get back to him. It's going to take a lot of really good weeks in a row. Gonna need to get on one of those Joey Logano.
We're only 5 weeks in. We still got 9 left.
Yeah. So Ken's got himself a good gap right here, and it looks like he's figured out road courses as well. So he's definitely going to be a tough beat. Is there anything you're really thinking about doing differently in order to bring it to him strategy wise now that you've seen him run well at road courses as well as everywhere else?
I guess I got to spend a little more time in the seat during practice for road courses. Watkins Glen come up in a couple weeks. So yeah, that's pretty much about it.
All right, Matt, before we let you go, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, the wife and the kids, and I guess you guys up in the booth for all that you do. Keep doing a good job.
We appreciate that, Matt. Congrats on the second place finish. You got some great points out of it. Moving your way forward. Bristol, a good track for you next week. Maybe we'll be interviewing you for that race win next week.
Hopefully. That'll be the plan.
That's the plan. We'll see if it goes that way for you. Matt, thanks for coming up. Congrats on the second place. Go get your celebration on.
I'm already started, sir. All right, Joe. Later, guys.
Matt Novella, your second place finisher, as I accidentally cut him off right there.
Oh, man.
Later. I'll have to apologize to him for that later. Let's get our race winner up in here. Ken Redinger. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to have so much to say to Ken about this one. Let me get him. I can't even get him up in here. I'm so excited. Ken Redinger, the race winner. Here he is. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
We were talking last night about running lap times around this track, and you were saying, like, man, it'd be nice to run, like top 7, top 10. You came out here. You were the fastest in practice. You were the fastest in qualifying. Got that pole. And then you ran the fastest lap in the race, won the stage, won the race, led the most laps. And I think this is the first time I've ever seen this, at least at a road course, a perfect driver rating of 150 for the race. How did you get it done?
It's just a lot of practice went in during the week leading up to this because I got tired of coming to these tracks and being walked like a dog. It was like usually I'm struggling to run 10th place there and spinning out and get into the braking zone, just spinning out. And I told Justin, and then I was like, I got to do a lot of practice. I can't come to these tracks no more and struggle. So yeah, big shout out to Justin there. We were doing some sessions during the week and kind of going off each other about what kind of lap times where we were shifting, and it really paid off.
We saw some different pit strategies go on there. It seemed like some guys were able to stretch fuel all the way to the finish and threw in their old tires into the mix. We saw Matt Novella take 2. You went with 4. You were struggling a little bit there on those cold tires. You trying to get away from Matt. You got loose. You lost a couple seconds. Did you ever have any sort of like maybe panic go on, or was it just the normal steady Ken Redinger that we're used to seeing even after that little bit of a hiccup?
Oh no, there was definitely some panic there. I was waiting for I knew the first lap or 2 was going to be a little slick, but it was not. It was like lap 3 and then lap 4 and lap 5 just was not getting into the track. It was just like ice every corner. And then I started to panic, and I was like, I got to calm down here because I had lost it. I think coming up the hill there, one time because it was I just couldn't get it to grip, and I said I got to calm down here, and I knew Lynott had older tires. I didn't know about Novella. Pretty sure he took two, but I said I just got to settle in here and keep it on the track, and I should be able to get back by him and getting in the braking zones. I had with the four tires having a little bit more stopping power, but um, yeah, there's definitely some panic setting in. And then when I got to Lynott there, I don't know if it was the dirty air, but it was just not getting through the S's as quick as I'd like. But I think he overshot the hairpin, and I was able to get him there.
Yeah, everybody, it seems like, has been talking about the setup where it was hard to get the car to like grip up and get it into the track. Were you having those same kind of feelings even when you pulled away on that first run? Did you feel like it was just like not gripping up the way you thought it would, or were you kind of expecting it to drive that way and just kind of adapted quicker than everybody else?
Yeah, I was mentioning to my teammates, they were having the same problem. It's like, it was weird. You'd go a couple laps and you're fine, and then you do nothing different the next lap, and it's locking up the tires, or you're just completely blowing the corners. It was just didn't make any sense half the time what was happening. But um, yeah, I don't know. There's just you just go a couple laps, and then you might have like a off lap, and it'd be right back to being good.
So, I mean, I got to say, though, at a grandstand racing, you pretty much gave it to your teammates there, too. You know, Fritz was in that lead group. We've seen how good he is at road courses. You were really able to flip the script, not only on everybody else that's been really fast, but your own teammates, too. So it looked like, I don't know, Fritz may have not been as much involved in practice this week as you and Justin were, but that's pretty impressive that you not only flipped it on some of the fastest guys in here, but you flipped it on Fritz, who I figured was probably going to be the best out of the team. How does it feel to be the flagman for grandstand racing today as well, with this incredibly great performance on a road course?
No, it feels amazing. It's like those guys will tell you that I'm probably me and Jay. We tell you that we hate road courses, and every time I come to one of these, I know I'm gonna run in 10th at best. So I was like telling Justin, I can't do that no more. I can't, because a lot of these schedules now have 2-3 road courses on them. I was like, I can't do that anymore. So I got to put the practice in and make sure I'm at least the top 10, well within the top 10. But just to be able to get the win here, and that's more than I was expecting, to be honest with you.
Truly an incredible performance. I have another question I want to ask you, but I'm almost certain Buddy's going to ask it, so I don't want to take it away from him. So I'm going to give it over to Buddy and see if he asks what I'm thinking.
So I have a statement and then I have a question. My statement is actually, it's not really a statement, it's a question. So I have two questions. These are a whole lot more fun whenever you can race the track, huh?
Yes.
And my second question is, knowing there's a couple more road courses coming up, do you see yourself devoting the same amount of preparation that you did for this one on those, just to see if you can duplicate that? Because we know you're super dominant on ovals, and it's got to scare the pants off of some of these guys seeing you being able to maneuver, turn right around this place like you did.
Yeah, I was telling, I don't know who that was, Novella or Hillmann in the waiting room. This really started back on the last ARCA race that we had at Watkins Glen. I put in a lot of work there and made some adjustments to my brakes and how I was approaching that, and that seemed to really find me a lot of speed there. I think I was running with Novella. I just did not have the right strategy that he had at the end of that race. But yeah, it's been probably about 2 races. This the second race, but started in Watkins Glen in the ARCA with my road course and trying to get better and figure out where I'm missing time, and it seems to be paying off now.
One of the biggest reasons why I ever tried to tell myself that I wanted to figure out road courses is just because of how many people hated them, and they were at the time pretty easy tracks to just go into a league and take advantage of. But now it seems like leagues will have 2 or 3 guys that are really, really strong at road. So it's not quite as easy to come in and have that little advantage anymore. Seeing someone like you being able to figure out this road course stuff is a little bit frightening, because I know how dominant you are on ovals. So definitely got to congratulate you on your performance tonight.
Appreciate it.
Did I ask the question that I thought you that
Yeah,
you
yeah,
thought of?
yeah. You did
Oh,
ask the question I thought you were going to, and now I have an additional one that I thought of while we were sitting here. So we also were talking last night about where we're going next week, going to Bristol. Patrick was up here a little bit earlier. He said it's going to switch over to the iRacing setup for next week. How much does that help out your level of confidence going into Bristol for that race? We've seen you run up front at pretty much every style of track, and I know I've seen you run up front at Bristol as well. So, how are you feeling about your chances at a concrete track next week?
Um, Going off my past performances in the Archer there, not too confident. I got something to work. I got some stuff to work on. But Jay's really good there, so I guess we'll be leaning on him to kind of figure out the line. I don't know. I'm okay at the beginning of a run there, and then after a while, it just I don't know what I'm doing with my driving style, but I just abuse the tires, and I can't keep the pace up like Jay can. But yeah, we'll just be relying on Jay there to try to get faster.
Man, I am that honestly is probably the greatest road course run I've seen in a while. Um, we do see guys come in and be ringers in races for road courses, and they can go out there and they can do this kind of stuff because they devote all their time to doing road course racing because they do road racing off to the side or whatever. You're someone who did it by putting in the time, and you're always working on your oval craft, and we see that you finally got that road course craft. I'm proud of you for putting in all that time and making it work the way you did. Like that is an incredibly good run. That is so cool that you had such a good run today, and you're able to beat the guys that you've been trying to get towards on these road courses. You're able to get Novella and Cowgill and Lynott and all of them, and that's always so impressive to see somebody new that's usually not up there at road courses pull out and like actually put on a performance like that. So congrats to you because that's truly incredible.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Ken, before we let you go, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, just shout out to my teammates and shout out to you guys for broadcasting these. I always go back. I work from home, so gives me something to go back and watch, and they're always really entertaining. You guys do a good job.
Well, we appreciate it, Ken. Man, really savor this one, I gotta say, because that is
100%.
that's like a perfect line for a road course race. Very rare do you see that. Congrats, and we look forward to seeing you again next week at Bristol.
Oh yeah. All right. Thank you.
Of course, Ken Renninger, man, I saw that stat line. I went and looked, and I saw that driver rating 150, and I'm like, I don't think you never see a driver rating a 150. I can
no.
tell you, so I will give you perspective. So I'm gonna toot my own horn for a second. Last season in the truck series, I went out there. Oh no. If I can click the right buttons, I'd be able to tell you what I did. Oh, come on. There we go. So last season I went out there. I think I qualified on pole. Yeah, I qualified on pole. I led the most laps. I won the stage, but I did not run the fastest lap of the race. And I think that was the difference between having a 150 and a 147.3. Ken was able to put it all together, the perfect stat line for a race. And I know how dominant my performance was last season. For somebody to go out there and do it on a better statistical level here tonight. And on top of that, he did it while he had trouble in the middle of the race and felt his confidence slipping a little bit. Like that just makes me so excited to see somebody new come in here and do something great at a road course.
Absolutely. Super exciting for Ken to finally break out of that bubble. They kind of a lot of these drivers find themselves in that bubble where don't really look forward to road course or hate it or what have you. Super exciting to see him finally find some success, and that's kind of like the tip or the special sauce or whatever when you're talking about road racing. It's all repetition, right? unfortunately, to be really fast at a road course, you're not just worrying about 4 corners. It's repetition in all the different corners of the road course to try to perfect it. Naturally, the more time someone spends on a road course, the faster they're going to be whenever it comes to race time, as long as they uh, don't get caught up in anyone else's mess or whatever. So there is something to take away from that, and it's the stuff I was talking about during the race with Ken putting in time, and that's what it looked like to me. It is nice to hear him talk about that and confirm what I already assumed. Uh, I don't know. It's weird to see or to hear a driver talking about stuff that you say on a broadcast, and then it's like, I don't know how what I said made sense, but yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be afraid of road courses. Just come run your race. If you want to be fast, reach out and ask someone. There's a lot of guys that will help other drivers out, try to figure out road courses and whatever, uh, or ovals and whatnot.
And that's exactly what Ken did. He went to his teammate. He went to his teammates and it's like, listen, I had enough. I had enough of battling for scraps in these races. I want to be good in these races. And he put in the extra time. And this shows that when you put in the effort, we had 2 of the guys in the top 3 actually say the same exact thing. I put in extra time for this race this week to make sure that I had something good for it, to make sure I ran better than I wanted to. Ken was able to go out there and put out the performance he did, but I don't want to really, I want to make sure we shout out Zach Hillmann said the same thing. He went out there and said, I put in extra time this week. I wanted to make sure I ran really well. And he went out there and finished 3rd. We know how good Novella is on road courses, so he was able to probably take most of his, but I'm sure he put laps in too. So
Yeah.
I think it really shows that, even if you're Ken Redinger and you're off a lot on pace at a road course, if you put the necessary time and effort in, you could really turn it around into instead of a net negative into a net positive and even potentially a win. I mean,
Yeah.
it may inspire some other people to be like, hey, you know what? If I put in that same amount of effort, maybe I can go out there and win one of these road course races and get a dub on the season too.
Yeah, talking about Ken Redinger, had some bad luck last week, and outside of last week, we'll just call that a fluke because of the absolute domination that he did tonight. He regains a substantial lead in the point standing. He did, even with the stuff that he ran into last week, he had enough of a lead to maintain that first position. But after tonight, it looks like he's almost 130 points above the cut line, almost 80 points above his teammate Matthew Fritz in second. And looks like Justin Parham, with his performance, moved up 4 spots to uh, retain third. Kyle Lynott up 5, Matt Novella up 6, which you were talking to him about before I had my points updated. Some other things that I see on this point is there's a 3-way tie for the cut line right now, again, for the second time this season.
And the thing of note is, unlike Bonfire, there is no tie. There is a tiebreaker in here, so we are going to have some tiebreakers and some heartbreakers if those ties continue down there at that 12th spot. Right now, I do think the ties would go to. They should go to Hillmann and Panzarella. I would imagine, if I know the rules the way they work, they should go to Hillmann and Panzarella, or it would go to, actually it would go to one or the other based on, I think it would go to Hillmann right now. If it's based on best finish, Hillmann had a 3rd tonight and Zach had a 3rd, so then it would go to their 2nd best finish, which let's see.
I think that's what I need to add to these point standings, Joe. I know
Hillmann
you're
had
talking about
4th at Auto Club, so, or no, he had a 4th at Phoenix, so that would be it. So Hillmann has the tiebreaker.
I need to add like top 5s and top 10s into this list.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Oh,
I think.
I have some inside information, Joe. It's
Uh-oh.
late breaking news, hot off the
Na
press.
na 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 na.
We will be doing the BRL rules, ties all go.
Oh, so okay, so now I don't care about the ties. So now we have 14 drivers in the chase right now. Okay. 14 drivers are currently in the chase as we sit. So Steve Lewis, you're only 3 points out of that tie. He lost 7 spots tonight. That is, well, I mean, the points are gonna not look right at all. Pretty much all those changes you see on the left, you can pretty much you can throw those all in the garbage at this point, because it's gonna calculate all the position changes based on where they were prior, and it's gonna do some weird calculations with their drop week and that kind of stuff. So it's not going to make any sense, those changes. So right now, the thing that we're watching is that cut line. It's going to be very difficult to really pay attention to it completely, because some guys are going to have finishes in the bank. Like right now, tonight's race for Steve Lewis was his drop week, actually. He had 25 points. Danny Sanchez, tonight was his drop week, currently with 21 points. Some guys have missed a race, like Casabir missed a race. Yeah, he's still up there in 8th in the points, even with missing tonight. And then you see other guys like McGivern missed. He fell to 16th. So a lot of this is really just not going to make any sense. And we're just gonna have to follow it throughout the season. The only thing that I can guarantee you is Ken Redinger is definitely 2 races to the good on the cut line.
That is definitely a guarantee after all the domination that we've seen so far this season. And we're only 5 weeks in.
You know what else? 5 weeks in, Ken Redinger has 11 incidents on the season. If we look at tonight, in tonight's race alone, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys that either had more incidents or equal to 11 incidents in the race alone tonight. So Ken Redinger, 5 races in, 11 incident points. That is easily the best in the series to this point. Truly incredible. So it's not just that he's been running well and finishing these races off and being fast. He's also doing his best to stay out of trouble. And he's now got his lap count lead up to 247 as well. So he's been the front runner. He's been the cleanest driver, and he's been the winningest driver. So it kind of all coincides with each other when it all works out and you're driving a clean race. So
all said and
shout
done.
out to him.
Absolutely. I think we have our VRN schedule right quick, even though this is way outdated considering everything that has changed in the last week. Have to run it down really quick, Joe.
Oh yeah,
so
I
think the ARCA series starts next Monday with Alice Hillmann.
Yep.
And then we have Monday Mayhem with Zach Panzarella, Mean Gene next Monday night. Big Trucking Tuesday was off this week. We did a little special last night, the little overview podcast, whatever you want to call it. You guys are going into the playoffs, correct? Starting next week.
Yeah. So that's gonna be New Hampshire. Where's VRN sponsoring that race?
Yes, and I was so tired last night. I do not even remember what Mean Gene said the name of it was.
The Drive for 5 130.
Okay. Yep, that sounds familiar now that you say that. Then you got we're on Wednesday now, right? And me and you here on, oh my gosh. Maybe I should have been the one that rushed through it because it shut off on me.
Yeah, so we're on Wednesday and we're doing the Cup. And then Kevin Kyle and the Trashmen are on Thursday. They're doing Quantum Contender Next Gen Racing. I think they're at Bristol this week, if I'm not mistaken. So that should be pretty crazy. And then Sunday is me and Mean Gene. We're at some racetrack. I think it's New Hampshire, actually. So hopefully that's not as cursed as the race was on Monday for Monday Mayhem. And it's actually going to be a fun time. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, yeah. And some extra notable mentions that's not on here. At the same time we were doing this broadcast, Kevin Kyle had a special broadcast going side by side with us for, I don't remember what the league name was for that. And then Sunday evening, there's a broadcast here that I do for the Revenant Racing League. With only 2 races left in their season, it is also not on this list. So definitely a lot of pretty cool things going on with BRN right now, especially more than what that list kind of shows or leads on.
100%. We are growing, and we love having all you guys on for the broadcasts. We love having all you guys here following us as well every week for everything that's going on. We thank you for tuning in to the first road course race of the season for the SWC Moonlight Cup Series here at Sonoma for the Sonoma 80. Ken Redinger going to go out there and dominate the race here tonight at Sonoma. Congrats to him on getting his 3rd win of the season here at Sonoma. Buddy, any final thoughts before we head out?
Definitely interesting to see how Bristol goes. I don't really have a lot of super awesome to see Ken have such a dominant race tonight here at Sonoma. But I had theirs to really see how Bristol plays out, knowing how all the other ovals have played out so far this season.
And with that, we're going to see what happens next week at Bristol as well, alongside all of you. Thanks for coming out once again. For myself, Smoking Joe, Buddy the Professor, we appreciate all the support that we've had this season, and we'll see you next week at Bristol at the good old Coliseum.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel.